huge, a big heavy lump. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to taxi forward slowly. I want you to steer it over the arrows. Try and point it down the arrows as best you can, okay? Just throttle up a little bit and it'll start rolling forward. Again, the trick here, now you've got it beautifully on the centre line there, that's spot on. Very good, and you found the brakes, excellent, so we're all good to go. So exactly the same thing now, Connor, you've had the benefit of watching Steve do a very good job there. You're listening for rotate, you then pull back, you might just want to try that to get the weight of it, it is quite heavy. And you then transfer your view down to the instrument and you're looking for that 20-degree line up to 6,000 feet. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, Steve, you can handle the power levers this time. You stand them halfway up the scale, which selects 60% on the engines. So push them forward. Still about vertical, but that's about 60, that's great there. The engine gauges are in the middle there. So we're checking the engines are stable at this point, giving Connor a last chance to make any little corrections with his feet. Once he's happy, he calls for takeoff power, so set takeoff thrust now by pushing them all the way forward. Connor, you have control, off we go. Okay, the airspeed is active, we're through 80 knots. There's V1. Okay, Connor, rotate. Smoothly pull the aeroplane into the air. That's the way. We have a positive rate of climb, so you're looking for the 20-degree line. Big push forward required to keep it on the 20. As we have a positive rate of climb, Steve, you now give him gear up. The big lever, you pull it out and all the way up. That's it. So by keeping it where you've got it, you are maintaining 160 knots, which is giving you the best climb out angle and the best climb rate, which is currently 3,600 feet a minute. Now that warning horn you just heard is telling you you're approaching 6, so start to level off now by pushing forward, and you bring it down all the way down to the first little white line just above the horizon line. Okay, Steve, you throttle back for him now, otherwise it will quickly overspeed. That's it. That's where we want it, just about there. That's great. So Connor's got it beautifully level now, the needle's pretty well bang in the middle, so now you look where the horizon is height-wise on the centre post, and you start to use the view out of the window to get used to flying the aeroplane. Okay, that's great. You've both got a really good touch. Customers will be very happy with this. The cabin crew, particularly so, because that trolley gets really heavy if you start throwing it around. White mark at the top there for the hollow triangle. That's perfect, so the customers are happy. Take it. So that's the limit really, for the passengers at least. Around there. That's pointing at Manchester, so when that gets to the white line, the 12 o'clock position, you roll out on that heading and the airport will be 10 miles in front of you. Okay, stick forward now and let the horizon come all the way up to the top of the window this time, so we've got a fair old descent rate going. And I want you to manoeuvre now, Connor, so the airport runs down your left hand side. That's right, so just come right just a little and try and parallel the runways. We're not going to land at this point, we're just going to overfly it. We're going to do some landings in a bit, just to give you a little more practice. That's perfect. Just reduce the rate of descent slightly, otherwise we're going to get a speed warning in a minute.
Radio altimeter.
Okay, there's your second altimeter now, so you've got a really accurate height readout now, and that's telling you you're at 2,500 feet. That'll take you right over the top of the end of the runway and that pub. That's good. You'll be really annoying the air traffic controllers at this point if you did this, but... Okay, and if you look down in the trees there, you can see the little pub, and it is literally that close to the taxiway, the beer garden. Right over the top of the car parks as you come right round the perimeter now. of Manchester Airport, the various roundabouts and link roads, all accurate and very detailed.
1,000.
So you're at 1,000 feet now. As you get a little lower, the radio altimeter starts calling the altitudes for you so they don't creep up on you. That's a good job, mate. Made a really good job of that. Right over the motorway there. That takes you back to the M6. Okay, looking at the horizon, roll back wings level, and Steve, if you would give him gear down again now, please. We're going to configure the aeroplane to make some landings now, so we're going to slow down a little bit. Just try and hold it level for the moment if you can, Connor, for another mile or two while we bleed off some of this speed. What I've done now is just extended the flaps as well. They come out of the back of the wings, generate some extra lift, create a little drag and slow the aeroplane down. Now we want a little power now to keep the speed at about 140 or thereabouts. So the aeroplane is now fully configured for a landing with the gear down, flaps 30 and the speed correct. So what I'm going to do now is reposition us onto final approach. I'm just going to... Okay, now you can see the airport's appeared, so just pull back a little, keep it right at the bottom of the window. Just there's where you want it now. That's fine. And if you check the white needle, you can see you're flying in more or less level. Just about level. Now what we're waiting for, you fly level until you're certain you're looking at all white lights to the left of the runway, because you always intercept from above. In other words, you start with the lights white. When you see them, when you can see they are white, you descend into the red and white lights. And what that does, it guarantees that you're clear of any obstacles on the approach. Now if you look at the runway straight ahead of you, because there's no weather on, I think you'll agree, Connor, that you're looking at a white light there to the left of the runway. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you do now is you ease the stick forward an inch, just a little, and allow the runway to come an inch or two higher up the window. That's perfect. Now if you check the white needle, you can see you're now descending, but also the speed is beginning to increase, so you're going downhill. So at this point you throttle back just an inch, that's all, because we're more or less on the right speed. That's great. So you've now started your descent and you are currently 4¼ miles away. The distance now, it's the wind that can be a little tricky. It's always drifting you one way or the other, so you make lots of little corrections, nudges really left and right, to try and keep this centre post pointing at the beginning of the runway. Another way you can do it is you can try and look at the runway and draw an imaginary extended centre line coming back from the runway through the fields, and that's where you're flying to where you think that line would be if there was such a line. Okay, now you can clearly see the white lights. They're telling you you're just a little high at this point, so increase the descent just a little and throttle back another 1¼ inch or so. Now, that's what gets it down really. We're trying to get in these red and white lights. They're very important, the red and white lights. Just coming into them now, that's good. If you have all red lights, there's a real danger the tail will touch the approach line, so you must have red and white as you come over the fence. On a 747 where the tail can be several hundred feet behind the cockpit, you must have white and red, not all red.
400.
Keep it coming. Feet ready on the pedals at this point, because you're going to be steering with your feet in a minute.
300.
Come left just a nudge for drift. That's it, that's the way. That's great. You're nailing it. Keep it coming, mate. Now when it calls 30 feet, Connor, you'll hear it call, close the thrust levers fully with your right hand.
50, 40, 30,
Pull them back, mate.
20.
All the way. That'll stop it bouncing. Well done. Very good. Now I want you to give it reverse thrust, Connor. That's those two up and over the top. Take your time at this point. Sort the steering out with your feet. When you're happy, find the brakes and gently start to introduce the brakes, but keep steering. Gets a bit twitchy when you get on the brakes. Cancel reverse by pushing those down. Good job, mate. Well done. Superb. You made the runway, no problem. That was very good indeed. Most people are on the grass the first time. Listen, he's laid the gauntlet down now, Steve. I'll put you back up, let you have your first go. That was good. Keep it level till you get a little closer. What we're going to do here now, we're going to introduce some realistic weather because it's never this clear in Liverpool, it's for certain. Now that's much more realistic going into Liverpool. So what you've got now is you've got a breaking cloud at 7.5 miles in rain. The white dot that you can see in the distance is what you're looking for, that's the PAPI lights. So you keep it level till you get a little closer, and the main problem with weather is you lose them.
200.
Push forward dash just a little bit just to increase your descent rate. Right. Now as you get near the ground, pull back a little, don't let it hit too
50,
hard.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Well done, that's good. It's just skipped a little, stick with it. Okay, a lot of left rudder now and fine reverse thrust with your right hand. Excellent, well done. Be straight if you can. Good one, mate. Superb in those conditions there. Very good. We'll soon leave you guys to it now and we'll put the kettle on and have a brew. That's it, come back. You can still make it from here. Pull back, don't let it land just yet. Pull back, 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 back. That's it. Okay. Now close the thrust levers. Ease the stick forward just a little so you can find that runway again. You have taken off
30,
again.
20, 10.
Okay, got away with it, you didn't break it anyway. So a lot of right rudder and reverse thrust when you can find it. Okay, so you can see how easy it is for it to get away from you when you get near the ground. Great job, well done. A little bit of left rudder. Reverse, of course. Take your time, sort of steering out first. Good job, very good. That's better than some of the right air guys we got on here. Well done. Nice one. Pull it out, hold it out, now take your feet off the brakes. And what that does, it latches the parking brake on. And to release the brakes now, all you do is press the brake pedals again and that releases the brakes. To shut the engines down, Connor, put your fingers underneath there, pull those out and slide them down. And that shuts the fuel off to the engines. Good job, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. You did some excellent landings there between you. Very good indeed. As I say, it is a big learning curve, but you didn't break it.